The good life, full of fun.
Hey guys, look at my kitchen. Another big
ideal.
exciting day in my kitchen. I thought all of us would take a trip to Mama Borio's Cucina. Hey, and that's my mother's kitchen. So she used to make this great recipe, and basically it's fried Parmesan chicken tenders, you know. So my dad runs the restaurant, Borio's Restaurant, and they would have some chicken, sometimes leftover chicken. So they would bring it down, and she'd put this just delicious recipe together, and you know, to make it feel like a mama's kitchen. You know what I'm saying? As I got the sounds of my Sonos here, I got the sounds of Jerry Vale. Some of you guys know what I'm talking about. Some of you guys probably don't know what I'm talking about, some of my younger viewers, but I got Jerry Vale Italian love songs going in the background. So I really feel like I'm at home right now, okay? So this is gonna be fun. All right, so let me go over ingredients. This is fun, it's delicious, it's easy. Okay, so let's get started. Number one, we've got chicken tenders. So I've got here about 2 pounds of chicken tenders. And essentially a chicken tender is gonna be your chicken breast quartered on each side. You can use dark meat if you want and quarter that up, but my family likes the white meat. So our next ingredient is buttermilk. That's going to add some tang along with some other good stuff. So I've got here about a half of a quart, if you will, a pint of buttermilk. Next, Parmesan. It's going to be fried Parmesan chicken tenders. So we got to have Parmesan, right? So what I've got here is some Parmesan cheese, and I've got 2 cups measured after it's shredded. And now what I've got here is 2 cups of Italian breadcrumbs. So these are pre-flavored. That's great. If not, you're going to grab your own breadcrumbs, 2 cups, and then you'll add some Italian flavor, some Italian herbs to them. Now we want to crust that up a little bit more. So what I'm adding here is 3 tablespoons of cornmeal. And it's going to be more of a rough grind on it, medium to rough, and that's going to add that nice depth crunch, a little bit more of a rustic kick. And what's going to give you the crisp is some cornstarch. So I've got 3 tablespoons of cornstarch. Now we want to add a little bit more flavor, right? So I'm going to add some lemon rind. So I've got about 1.5 tablespoons or so of lemon zest. Now I want to add some salt. I'm going to add some pepper. Next, guys, I want to go over the ingredients for our dip for this delicious fried, crispy Parmesan chicken tender. So what I want to make here is an aioli sauce with a little bit of Cooking Italian with Joe punch. Forget about it. All right, so I've got here, I don't know where it comes from, and you guys probably wish we could put it back where it came from. I've got 3/4 cup of mayonnaise, and with our aioli sauce, I'm gonna take 3 cloves. Down here I got 4, but 2 of them are small. So I've got 3 cloves of raw garlic. Oh. Now I'm gonna take the lemon. So what I did is I took the zest of this lemon for the crust. I'm going to take the juice of the whole lemon. I'm going to put that in my aioli sauce. Now I want to kick it up a little bit more, right? So I'm going to use a nice red pepper. And then we're going to use a little bit more something to flavor that aioli. I'm going to take a tablespoon or so of tomato paste. That is just going to it's going to kill it, I'm telling you. Next, guys, we need to inject a little bit more of the Italiano. You see what I'm saying? And I'm thinking if we took a trip to Puglia and we were to bring up some of the best olive oil on the planet, great news. Here we go, Vito and Joe's olive oil. So for some of you guys that are new to our channel, I own a farm in Italy. It's just above the heel, which is Apulia or Apulia region of Italy, and it's Vito and Joe's, named after my 2 sons. And it's a delicious extra virgin olive oil. It's grassy, it's earthy, it's peppery. And listen, you guys can go right on the link below. You can go on our website, Cooking Italian with Joe, or you can go on our Facebook page, and you can click buy it now. We'll drop ship you a bottle right to your house. I call it a trip to Italy right in a bottle. And last, you're going to want some non-extra virgin olive oil. It tends to be yellow and gold. And we're going to want about a pint, maybe a little bit more, to help fry these, okay? So I've got some non-extra virgin olive oil. I got it in my cast iron pan. Okay, time to get started. First and foremost, I want to start marinating my chicken breast. Why do we use buttermilk? It has lactic acid in it. And the beauty of that is it helps tenderize the chicken, the protein, and it also helps moisturize the chicken tender, and it's going to add a little bit of extra flavor to it. So I'm going to put all my chicken tenders in my lactic acid bath of buttermilk, and I'm going to give it a nice stir. And now I'm going to set this in the refrigerator, ideally for a few hours. Guys, while the chicken's marinating, what I'm going to do is start making my breading and my aioli. So I'm going to take my 2 cups of breadcrumbs. And then I'm going to take my 2 cups of Parmesan cheese, or Parmesan Reggiano. I'm going to take my lemon zest, 3 tablespoons of cornmeal, and 3 tablespoons of my cornstarch. And now we're going to take a fork, and we're going to give it just a bright stir here. Last, I'm going to add about a half a teaspoon to a teaspoon of fresh ground pepper. And again, I'm going to give that a nice stir. Now we've got the chicken marinating in the refrigerator, and my breadcrumbs are ready to go. So I'm going to set this aside at room temperature. Now let's make the aioli. And making it ahead allows all those flavors to infuse and marry. It's going to taste so much better. Molto delizioso. All right, so let's get going. I'm going to take my mayonnaise, put that in my dish. So slice your lemon in half. I got a nice little press here, a little juicer. I'm going to pop that full juice of the lemon in there. Next, I got my garlic. So what are we going to do? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a microplaner, and I'm just going to put it right over the top, and I'm going to microplane my garlic right into the aioli. Next, guys, I'm going to take about half of this red pepper, and the easiest way to do it is the same way. Just take that microplaner, and the seeds are what really make your pepper hot, not so much the pepper itself. So you're going to put in there maybe a heavy teaspoon. Next, we're going to take our tomato paste, and I'm going to put a good tablespoon or so. I'll tell you, with that red pepper flake and that tomato paste, it just gives it such a delicious flavor. The beauty of this is we're going to mix it now, and we're going to marry that together and allow it to sit for a couple hours while our chicken's marinating. Last thing I want to add to my Cooking Italian with Joe, forget about it aioli, is I want to add a little black pepper. So I'm going to add about a half of a teaspoon in here. Give it a grind. Oh, that's good. And then I'm going to give it that final stir. And then we're just going to set it in the refrigerator. It's been about 3 hours. My chicken's been marinated. So I want to get it out of my marinade. I don't want to dry it. I don't want to shake it off fully, but I want to just let it drain here for a sec. Next, we always want to flavor in layers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of this delicious salt from Sicily. I'm going to put that right on my chicken as I let it set here for a minute. And then I'm going to take some fresh ground pepper, and then I'm going to take some Vito and Joe's olive oil. Yup, get it right online. Just going to do a really light drizzle over the top here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn them. So now they're almost marinating again, right? In the olive oil, in the buttermilk, in your salt, in your pepper. Same thing, I'm going to take a little salt from Sicily, take some fresh ground pepper again, and a really light drizzle now of the olive oil. Now that my marinated chicken's all done, totally delicious, right? And I've got salt and pepper and olive oil. I'm going to put it in the refrigerator for about 30 minutes to infuse more of that flavor before I start breading. How you doing? All right, it's been 30 minutes. Chicken's good to go. Breadcrumbs, got a plate, got my tongs. Now it's time to bread. And another really important tip here is you want to fry this as soon as you bread it. You don't want everything to get soggy. So I'm going to grab as much of that flavor as I can. I'm going to put my chicken in the breading, cover it, and then I'm going to give it a really good press here because I want a lot of adherence with the cheese and the breadcrumbs. As soon as you're good to go, you're going to put it right on a plate. How beautiful is this? And you'll notice, try not to stack them on top of each other just so they don't get wet and soggy. All right, time to get cooking. I can still smell the garlic. Oh, so delicious, right? So I've got my oil getting hot, about 375. Again, white porcelain so you can see the contrast. Something high on the edge so you don't get a lot of splatter. Everything just got breaded. It's not going to get soggy. A couple other really important tips that make this come out delicious if you subscribe to our channel. So there's a red button down there. I'll tell you, when you subscribe to our channel, anything we got coming with new recipes, new trips, blogging with Boreal comes right to your notification box. And I'll tell you, it means a lot to me when you subscribe to the channel. Hey, and it makes you part of the family. You know what I'm saying? And guys, remember, click right on the link below. Grab yourself a bottle of Vito and Joe's Italian olive oil. Guys, I'm going to take my tongs. I'm going to set it right in that oil. Perfect. And only put about 4 in there at a time. If not, you'll bring the temp down on the oil too much, and you'll lose the ability to give it a good crisp. I'm going to give them a quick flip. Oh, look at that. Now, when I fry these, I like enough oil in there just to almost cover the chicken, but I like the chicken to rest on the bottom. It'll stick right away, but as it cooks, that protein will release, but it gives it a little extra crisp. Look at that, guys. Guys, I got to tell you, the aroma in this kitchen, Magnifico. I'm thinking it's time to take a test here. My favorite part of any video I do with you guys. I'm gonna put this right here. I'm gonna give it a cut. How delicious is that, guys? I got a beautiful crust. You can see some of the cornmeal in there, which is great. And it's crispy because of that cornstarch. You got just a beautiful, perfectly cooked, moist piece of chicken in there. Open up. Here we go, baby. Taste the vision, smell the vision. Now I'm going to take that Cooking Italian with Joe Aioli. I'm going to put a little bit, maybe a half a teaspoon on each one of those. Yeah, my mouth is watering. This puppy's hot. Oh, the aioli you can hit the garlic right away with. And a little bit of that tomato. And you can get a little bit of the lemon. Immediately, pow, flavor. And you got the aioli, the garlic, the tomato. And it's got that sour, that acid from the lemon, which is great. It gives you like a brightness in your mouth. And then immediately you got the crunch, that texture from the crunch from the chicken. I'm telling you, that cornstarch and cornmeal, perfect. And there's flavor all the way through. You got a little bit of tang from our buttermilk. I mean, the chicken is just, couldn't be cooked more perfect. Man, that is good. And I love that crunch you get in the back of your teeth, that texture from the cornmeal. And then you get the crisp, you know, of the Parmesan cheese, and it gives it that crusty, you get that cheese, that little bit of a creamy feel, you know, that little tang from the cheese. And you know what's absolutely just rock star in this recipe is that pepper right at the end. And it's not overpowering at all. Right at the end, you get just a little bit of that heat. You're getting that heat from that aioli that we made. I'm thinking a small glass of Pellegrino or a Pinot Grigio, one or the other. Probably Prosecco. Why? Because Prosecco goes good with everything anyway. Guys, thanks so much for joining me. What a great recipe. And remember, hit that red subscribe button. Make your part of the family. Hop online. Grab yourself a bottle of olive oil. Trip to Italy right in a bottle. We'll ship it right to your house. And guys, remember, you know, with your family, it's all about familia. You know what I'm saying? So shut off the TV even for a couple of hours and shut off the computer and get away from your cell phones. Put them in a basket. Take them away. Spend some time. Tell some stories. You know, celebrate your heritage, whatever that is, and set some traditions that'll last you a lifetime. I know they did for me, guys. Hey, from my kitchen to yours, until next week, buon appetito.
Full of fun seems to be the ideal.